Yeah. I met Ronnie O'Sullivan in there. You know Ronnie
What's his
O'Sullivan,
story?
snooker player.
Oh yeah, yeah.
His dad's doing life. He's got a life sentence. His story is, and this is what I know. One of my friends who I was brought up with, he had a mechanic's garage. He was a mechanic, and he had a little Fiat place in Streatham Vale where I was brought up. He was a straight goer. He was fixing cars for a living. So he was in Kelvin, his name. He was in a bar in Fulham, and he was having a bit of a domestic with his girlfriend out the front. Only arguing, they were both coked up. He was drinking, one thing led to another. He didn't hit her or nothing like that, but it was big work, like swearing at each other. Ronnie O'Sullivan, allegedly, come outside, broke a pills bottle on the wall, and stabbed my mate in the throat. My mate died. He killed him. So, and he was one of my very good friends, do you know what I mean? It made it a little bit hard for me when I see him. But he was quite a few years into his sentence by the time I see him. And he was in Dovegate too, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I lasted 6 months in there. I got shipped out of Dovegate. We got bent up one afternoon, me and my codies got bent up and we got taken down the segregation unit, put under investigation for having phones and supplying drugs to inmates in there. They received information from a box. Someone's put a letter in the box and cast us up. So I lasted 6 months in there. Got shipped out of there, and from there, I went to Swaleside, which is Isle of Sheppey. Swaleside again is a BCAT trainer for long termers. Yammy was in there at this time. You have got inmates. You have got short-term inmates in Swaleside, but them ones what are in Swaleside are the ones what play up in the system, and the system can't handle them. So it's known as dumping ground, Shaun. Basically, any long-termers or anyone wants a bit of trouble in the system, they'll get sent to Swaleside. Do you know what I mean? I went to Swaleside, and it was eerie. It was like there was spurs. So like A-ring, you got like 4 spurs. You got spurs coming off each other. And they used to unlock the gate at the end of the spur, but leave you out all day. Do you know what I mean? And I remember when I went through there, you could feel the atmosphere. It was fucking a naughty place, mate. It was more naughtier than anything I'd ever experienced. Swaleside, and it was only a BCAT trainer. Do you know what I mean? But it was a naughty gaff. You had to be really naughty to get there. You had to be a problem in the system. So I went there, but in there was a lot of drugs. Everyone had phones. There's a lot of addictions. There's a lot of addicts. There was no work. You was like left on the spur all day long. Do you know what I mean? There's no work at all there. And all you could do in there was get up to something to get through your sentence. Do you know what I mean? If you put your name down for education, you had to wait like months and months and months to get in there. It was proper dumping ground. Fucking horrible jail. They actually called it Brownside, not Swaleside. They nicknamed it Brownside because it's full of brown. Absolutely rife with it. The screws were bringing it in, Shaun. The PEI screw was bringing it in. Do you know what I mean? Dropping it off to one of my friends. Like, fucking despicable place. And there's a lot of addicts. There's a lot of stabbings. I was in the association room one evening, just after tea. I think it was about 6:30. And a guy had been in the kitchen all day long, and he had a big pot like that, massive pot. And he's full up with oil. It was fucking bubbling. And he'd got wind, this guy, that his co-defendant had just landed in this jail. And his co-defendant had gone Queen's evidence on him. So I don't know whether the system was doing it. to set them up. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But they put them both on the same fucking wing, and they both gone Queen's evidence on each other. So it was inevitable what was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But this poor guy, he was sitting in the association room watching telly, just like we are now. And this other guy come from behind him with his pot of fat and just sat out on his head, boiling hot fat. It'd been on the pan for like hours, boiling. I'll never ever forget the screams, and his face went from like that to like that.
Just melted off.
His face just melted off, and they nicknamed him after. That was his nickname. But them type of things was happening on a regular basis, you know, because the drug dealers in there, what they was doing, they were selling like heroin, and they was giving you a strap, like bow. So basically, you could get like up to £200 worth of heroin off them.
On credit.
On credit. So what they used to do is, they'd give you a few bags just to tease you. So you get 2 or 3 bags of heroin, not the full lot. You get a few bags just to reel you in. And then the dealer would get his people to check his bank account outside and see if the money had gone in, because inmates were ringing their families up and saying to their families, "What, I want £200 put into this account." So that was happening all the time in there. The drug dealers were making fucking fortunes in there.
And you hear them on the phones, don't you? Making all these stories up to the family members as to why they need the money.
That's exactly what happened. Do you know what I mean, Shaun? And
yeah.
so the addiction and the suicide rate was unbelievable. I've got one quick story about what happened in Swaleside, a naughty one. So there was 2 brothers in there, a slim guy and a fat guy, but nevertheless they were brothers. They'd been charged for supplying Class A, so they're co-defendants. So they was both put in the same nick. They both got the same sentence, and they were running side by side with each other. This one of the brothers, his name was Robert. He was about 4 cells along from me, I remember. And over night time, we used to have a little shout out the windows and talk to each other. Well, one night, Robert was having an argument with someone, and they was slagging each other off and threatening each other, saying like, as soon as that door's open in the morning, don't worry about that, we're going to get it sorted. You know what I mean? Because that's what used to happen. If you had an argument out the window of a night, you'd go to bed, but you wouldn't sleep. You'd just dwell on it all night and all night. And the minute that door opened in the morning, you'd be out like a jackrabbit with a tool in your hand. So this went on for early hours in the morning. They both really coating each other off. And you know, when someone has a row, you think, it's going to be nothing. Do you know what I mean? They forget it by the morning, Shaun. It'd be over and done with.
Yeah, I've seen that.
This guy didn't forget it. Do you know what I mean? What he done? He ripped his table leg off. Lump of wood, lump of 4x3 wood like that, about that high. Chunked up like that. And he got a big nail stuck in the end of it. In the morning, the screws opened the doors up. He ran in to the other guy's cell. The guy had a green blanket over his head. He was asleep. He was a heroin addict, and he was withdrawing. He was in bed. He was in a bad way. This guy's running inside their cell with his table leg. He's still in bed, and he's gone smash straight over his head. And the nail has gone into here.
Fuck. That's like a temple.
Listen, nail's gone into there. About an hour later, it's locked down. All the screws, they've got to do a roll check. The guy what's done it has gone back in his cell, got out of his clothes, washed his hands. That's it. He's done it. It's over and done with. We all fought anyway. So, because I heard the argument and I heard what was going on, I thought I'm going to go and have a look and see if he's all right. So I went inside the cell, pulled the blanket back, and he wasn't moving. But there was like green and grey stuff coming down the side of his face from his temple, green and grey. He was dead. It was his brains. It's his brains. Geez murdered him. Do you know what I mean?
And you're at the scene of the murder.
Yeah, I was 2 cells along from it. And I see the dead body and all. And I saw the green and grey stuff come down the side of his head.
Didn't that put you at risk of him thinking you'd done it?
he actually got arrested for it. The guy what done
Oh,
it, he
did
actually
he?
got arrested
Just
and
saw it
got
on camera, he
convicted.
went in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got a life sentence for it. Do you know what I mean? He didn't get away with it, Shaun.
Yeah.
But you know, things like this was happening all the time in there. Suicide rate was fucking over the roof. People cutting their wrists, people hanging themselves, and a lot of it was down to drugs, addiction,
Yeah.
smack,
How were they killing themselves?
cutting their wrist, hanging themselves. There was at least, while I was in there was at least 3 suicides, and I was only in there 12 months. At least 3 suicides and that murder. It was a really naughty gaff. And when you went out on the exercise yard during the daytime, you had to put hardback books all around your waist, just in case you get stabbed in the torso and someone tries to kill you. Do you know what I mean?
That's the place Yami was putting his books.
Yeah, he would have been
Swaleside.
there.
Yeah.
Yami's been in a few times for Swaleside.
Yeah.
I've actually seen Yami in there a few times in Swaleside.
That wasn't the one where he did that, all of the stabbings on that one day, was it, in Swaleside?
I think so, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Where is it based?
What do you mean?
Where is it? Where is Swaleside?
Isle of Sheppey, Sheerness.
Where is that?
Laysdown, Kent.
Oh, Kent, okay.
Kent, it's that way.
Yeah.
So it's south, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a dumping ground, and anyone what played up in the system or was known as like trouble
all the problem cases.
Yeah, was put in this fucking Swaleside.